Oh, what brings you here? If you want to enter here, please pay $20,000. We've come to visit my eldest son and his wife at the newly built high-rise condo where they just moved in this year. There's no way we can pay $20,000. What the hell are you saying? Let's just go back for now. We came all the way, but if she won't let us in, there's nothing we can do. My daughter-in-law was so domineering that I discussed it with my husband and we decided to go home. However, she didn't seem to like that. Are you sure? If that's the case, then we can cut ties. She seemed to be upset. Hearing words like this, even I, who was usually patient, had reached my limit. If you really want to cut ties that badly, go ahead. We are leaving. Saying that, we left the high-rise condo. An hour later, my daughter-in-law, who was upset, arrived. My name is Emma Roberts, and I'm a full-time housewife who will be turning 60 this year. My husband, John, and I live in a single-family home. We have 2 children, our eldest son Ethan, and our daughter Olivia. Ethan dreamed of becoming a doctor since he was a child. He was kind to everyone and had a serious personality, so in a way, being a doctor was a natural fit for him. Currently, he works as a surgeon in a university hospital not far from our hometown. Whenever we have time, the whole family gathers at our house, and it has become a regular tradition to enjoy meals together. One day, Ethan, who didn't show up at the gathering because he was busy with work, called my husband. John, who doesn't usually smile much, looked very happy. What's going on? You seem unusually happy. I just got a call from Ethan. He says he's bringing his girlfriend soon. And he said that they're considering marriage. Oh. Really? That's wonderful. Don't get too excited yet. Ethan had never brought a girlfriend before. He must love her so much. But if Ethan chose her, then she must be a nice person, right? At that time, both John and I were eagerly looking forward to meeting Ethan's girlfriend, and we had no idea yet. 1 week later, our son said that he was coming to visit us. I was determined to be the best host possible. When the doorbell rang and we answered the door, standing next to our son was a petite and lovely woman. Let me introduce her. This is Catherine Smith. We met through a mutual acquaintance. Nice to meet you. I'm Catherine. At that time, she had a rather quiet image. So, we're thinking of getting married. We came here to make the announcement today. I knew it. You have my blessing, but what about you, dear? Yes, well, I guess I agree with you, Emma. I glanced at my husband, and while he seemed to agree verbally, his expression appeared somewhat stern. I heard that it had been about a year since Ethan and Catherine started dating. I hadn't expected them to decide to get married so quickly, but as parents, there was no reason not to be happy. I began preparing the meal, but Catherine uttered words that couldn't be imagined, from her appearance and demeanor. Well, I'll start preparing the meal. Then, I'll help. Catherine, you're our guest, so you don't have to help. You can just relax. No, I'll be your family soon, so please let me help. And she took the dishes to the table one after another, but the expression on her face as she helped me gradually became stern. Then she looked over all the dishes. I'm really sorry for all the trouble you went through, but there's very little I can eat here. Sorry? I almost dropped the plate I was holding. I was taken aback by Catherine's unexpected words, and didn't know what to do for a moment. Just then, Ethan stepped in promptly. Sorry, Mom. Catherine has various food allergies that limit what she can eat. Oh, is that so? I should have asked in advance. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom. I'll order something for Catherine. Thanks to Ethan's quick thinking, The situation was resolved, but it left an awkward atmosphere. After we had some alcohol, laughter started filling the air, but Catherine suddenly asked me a question. "What do you do for work, Emma?" "Huh? I'm a homemaker, so I don't have a job." "I see." Then Catherine thought for a little while. "That makes sense. That's why your home is like this, I suppose." "Like what?" "Well, I mean, it seems like you're not very well off." "Wait a minute." I was about to retort, but my eyes met with John's, and I refrained from saying anything anymore. My husband seemed to want to say something too, but he was holding back, perhaps because he didn't want to upset Ethan. Oblivious to all this, Catherine started drinking more and more, and she became quite talkative. "And I want to have a grand wedding ceremony, inviting lots of guests. So, I'd like both of you to help us with various things." "That's okay, but is there a reason that holds you back?" "No, not really, but what about you, dear?" "I think Ethan and Catherine should do as they wish." "Really?" "Thank you," Catherine replied with a beaming smile. With that, we called it a night. Catherine had had quite a bit to drink, and Ethan had to support her on the way home. "I'm sorry for today. I didn't expect things to turn out like this." "Don't worry about it. You should do as you please." "Thank you. I'll come back another time. Bye." After seeing them off, I suddenly felt exhausted. I wonder if Ethan is okay? I have some concern, but she is the one Ethan chose. We'll just have to wait and see, don't you think? You're right. For now, all we can do is believe. Our son and his girlfriend decided to have a wedding ceremony 6 months later. They chose a luxurious venue well known in the area. They invited over 100 guests, and the food was as extravagant as the one from a high-end restaurant. Catherine changed her outfit 5 times during the ceremony, and had a truly happy expression on her face. On the other hand, I could see that Ethan was happy, but he also had complicated emotions toward Catherine, as he had a bitter smile throughout the ceremony. The ceremony went smoothly, and as everyone started preparing to leave, Catherine stopped me. "Please take this, Emma." "What is this?" "Please look at it later." "Thank you." "Wait a moment." Catherine handed me an envelope and hurried away. I didn't know what she had given me, but I told my husband about it. "What are you holding?" "Catherine gave it to me earlier, but she didn't tell me what it was." "Let me see it," he said and opened the envelope. "What is this?" my husband exclaimed as he looked at the paper inside. When I looked at the paper, I saw the word invoice. "What is this? And it's for $50,000? Why would something like this?" "I don't know, but is she telling us to pay?" "That's probably the case." Then, a piece of paper fell from the envelope my husband was holding. Picking it up, I saw that it had a message from Catherine. "John, you said that I could do as I pleased, so I did. I assume you've seen the invoice, so please make the payment." Looking at the invoice again, I noticed that my husband's name was neatly written as the bill recipient. It seemed like Catherine had planned to make us pay since the time our son brought her to our house. I wondered if she had smiled at my husband back then, with this in mind. Perhaps it was at this point that I became aware of my clear anger toward Catherine. We had already given over $10,000 as a wedding gift. I was sure that Catherine was aware of that. Yet, she still wanted us to cover the wedding expenses. "What should we do about this? Since my name is written on it, we can't just ignore it." "That's true, but maybe we should talk to Ethan first. He might know something." "That might be a good idea. I'll contact him." At this point, they were no longer at the wedding venue, so I decided to go home and contact my son. But this was just the beginning. Hello? Ethan? Yes, what's up? I'm sorry to bother you when you're tired, but I have something to ask. I'm fine, go ahead. Is Catherine nearby? No. Is this something related to Catherine? Hold on, let me move to a quieter place. It seemed like my son had sensed something, and moved to a place where Catherine couldn't overhear. What did you want to talk about? Well, I asked him if he knew about the invoice Catherine had given me at the wedding venue. It seemed that he didn't know anything about it. It was evident that even my son was upset by this. I understand. Leave this matter to me. Catherine is at home now, so I'll ask her right away. What? Hold on. Without hanging up the call, my son went straight to Catherine. I could hear their conversation clearly. Catherine, why did you do something so selfish? What selfish thing? I'm talking about you giving my dad and mom an invoice. Well, I did that because your father had told us that we could do as we please. Even if my dad said so, it doesn't mean we should make them pay. We decided that we will pay for the wedding. Yes, but if they can pay, it's better, right? We're going on a honeymoon and we are moving to a high-rise condo. It's better to have money left for that, right? Listening to the exchange between my son and his wife, I couldn't help but feel anxious. Ultimately, they decided that my son would cover the wedding expenses. The call was disconnected after that, but it appeared that even my son was taken aback by the unexpected turn of events, and he seemed quite exhausted. 2 weeks after this incident, my son and his wife moved to a newly built condo they had talked about. Their new home was located a bit farther from where they used to live, but my son would find time to come back home. Catherine didn't visit often, but when she did, she almost always made snide remarks, targeting me, typically when my husband and son weren't around. Ethan was very angry with me about the last incident. The last incident? What do you mean? You've forgotten already? It's about the invoice for the wedding ceremony. But we resolved that issue, didn't we? Maybe, but I'm not satisfied with it. So what do you plan to do? I won't do anything, at least for now. Besides, I don't want Ethan to be mad at me anymore. For now? Well, you can look forward to it. By this point, I didn't really care anymore. The only saving grace was that she did not do anything directly to us. On that day, Ethan had a proposal. You should visit our new home next time. It's not too far away. That's true. Maybe we should. Can we do that, John? Sure, I'm okay with it. Great, then it's settled. So, we visited Ethan's new home on the following Saturday. However, Ethan had to leave for the hospital suddenly that day. He mentioned that Catherine was at home, but I was uneasy about it. When we arrived at the condo and rang the doorbell, "Hello? Who is it?" "Oh, it's you guys. What brings you here?" "What do you mean? You knew we were coming today, didn't you?" "Of course, I did, but a place like this isn't meant for poor people like you to enter." "What do you mean by that?" "If you're so eager to come in, please pay me $20,000 as an entrance fee." $20,000? There's no way we can pay that. What the hell are you even saying? Let's go. Even my husband couldn't agree to Catherine's request. He was speaking harshly, quite different from his usual manner. "We came all the way, but if she won't let us in, then we have no choice." Catherine's insolence was so great that we decided to leave, feeling that we had no business staying here any longer. However, she didn't seem to like that. Are you sure? If that's the case, then we can cut ties. She seemed upset. Her extremely selfish behavior was too much for me to bear. If you want to cut ties so badly, then go ahead. We are leaving. With that, we left as if escaping from the situation. Afterward, I shared everything that had just happened with Ethan. He quietly listened to my story. He said he understood after I finished talking, and hung up the phone. I thought that Ethan would handle the situation, and as I was relaxing at home, Catherine visited our home, to my surprise. It had only been about an hour since we had visited their home. When I saw her on the monitor, it looked like she was crying. Oh! Why did you come here after saying you wanted to cut ties earlier? Ethan called me just now and said that if I cause any more trouble, he'll divorce me. That's a matter between the two of you, right? We have nothing to do with it. As I said coldly, she started crying harder and louder. From the looks of it, Ethan must have said a lot of things to her. And she couldn't do anything but come here. Then, I received a call from Ethan, and he said that he would come here soon. Reluctantly, I let her into the house as my husband thought we were disturbing the neighbors. Ethan will be coming soon, so please be on your best behavior for a while. About 15 minutes later, Ethan arrived. I heard from my mom, but you didn't let them enter the house, right? I was just teasing them a bit. I never expected things to turn out this way. Even if it was a joke, it's too much. It was the same at the wedding, but you went too far. I'm sorry. It was truly a spur-of-the-moment thing. Ethan thought for a moment, and it seemed he had made a decision. I've managed to put up with it until now, but this is too much. I'm sorry, but let's get divorced. You are joking, right? I'm not joking. I'm serious. We won't get involved in this matter. It's an issue between husband and wife. That's right. So we'll refrain from interfering. Besides, we've already severed ties with you, Catherine. Please don't say that. Please convince Ethan for me. I already said it earlier, but I have no intention of getting involved in this matter. It's unfortunate. Despite that, she desperately continued to implore us to mediate. But my husband and I merely watched her without intervening. You should understand by now. You did something really bad to deserve this. Please give up. Then she completely changed her attitude from the way she has been behaving, such as crying and begging. What's wrong with you? I'm begging you, yet you wouldn't listen to me. Are you crazy? You are the one who is crazy. Well, fine. I'll make sure to claim a lot of money as alimony. I think that will be difficult. What? I showed her the screen of my phone. It displayed multiple pictures that I had taken. What is this? That is. Isn't it clear now? You'll be the one paying alimony. Among the pictures I took, there was a picture of Catherine walking with a man who wasn't Ethan. Other pictures showed them entering a hotel looking very close. All the evidence was captured thanks to my husband. He had sensed something suspicious about her from the start. So, I trusted my husband's words and decided to hire a detective. This was the result. It's over. You married Ethan for money, didn't you? It's not like that. I genuinely loved Ethan. That's enough. No matter what you say, the outcome won't change. Wait. Please listen. I can listen to what you have to say, but my decision won't waver. Catherine, isn't it time to give up? If you don't accept it, things will only get worse for you. Besides, we can also talk to your lover. If you don't like that, then accept the divorce. When I had the detective investigate Catherine, we found out that she had seen my son as a cash cow all along. Of course, we also know the whereabouts of her lover. Ultimately, Catherine had nowhere to run. For now, please get out of here. And make sure to pack up everything in the new home today. Even though we were married for a short time, is that how you speak to your wife? I can't believe that's the only way you can talk to me at this point. What? I have nothing else to talk about with you. Please leave. I will. After saying this, Catherine left. In a sense, the mentality of not admitting her own fault until the very end was amazing. My son decided to consult with a lawyer the next day. Furthermore, he had removed Catherine's belongings from the new home 2 days later. I heard that she had continued to berate him right up to the moment she left, but a woman like her wouldn't have a bright future. Their divorce was finalized 1 week after Catherine was kicked out. The evidence of the affair I managed to obtain was quite effective. Thanks to that, he was able to demand alimony from both Catherine and her lover, amounting to a total of $30,000. However, Catherine was not a person who would quietly accept it. Perhaps she didn't like that she was asked to pay alimony, and she demanded property division. But with her spending habits, it seemed she didn't have any property to receive in the first place. In other words, Catherine left the house practically penniless. According to the lawyer, initially, she stayed at her lover's house, but apparently her lover was also after Catherine's money, so he quickly abandoned her. Though she puts on a good front, I think she will have a hard time in the future because of her true nature. To be honest, I don't care about Catherine, but since she is good looking, I hope there won't be more victims like my son. On the other hand, my husband and I have been living in the spacious condo after Catherine left. We initially declined, but our son insisted. Ethan said that he didn't want to get married ever again after this incident, and he wants to live freely from now on instead. My husband and I also want to live a carefree life.